Welcome to another custom model segment, guys. Today we're going to be looking at some of the Culdee mountain engines. I have 5 here to show you. So let's just get started. We'll start with the first one that I did. So this one is, you're not really going to see it that good, but his name is Shane Duany. I don't know how to say that last name. But yeah, Shane, just like the Great Race engine Shane. So Shane was only mentioned in this book called The Honor of Sodor. It's people. I don't remember if it's railways next or history next, but it's people, railways, and it's history. Or railways and history could be switched around. But anyways, he was only mentioned in that book. He was not seen in any of the railway series stories. So anyways, this one was made from an old style Culdee. And so, yeah, all I did at first was just make the custom names and numbers, which was not really in a very fancy kind of way. Like, I basically just took some red construction paper and wrote their names and numbers on. You can just barely see them because of the tape I had to put on to stick them on. I mean, these are not like... So, Enterprising Engine 93, he had some Culdee engine models made for him by Caleb Train and Bertram Old Warrior. Caleb Train did the job of removing the faces and putting new ones on. And then Bertram Old Warrior provided the numbers and nameplates. And I don't know how he did it, but they look different and they stick on without tape. So I don't really know how he did it, like I said. And so yeah, this is just the best way I could do it. So yeah, Shane is the number 5, and then here are the same numbers and nameplates on that side. And then a bit later on, not like shortly after I put the numbers and nameplates on this custom, but sometime last year, I believe, I decided, you know what, maybe I'm gonna try to put a different face on this, because the eyebrows on that Culdee model, on that Culdee face, were had worn off. And so it just didn't look so good. And so I pried off the face, and it's kind of held back in here by a nail or a screw or something. But yeah, it was just like a long nail on the back of the face that went into the model. So I just was able to pry and pull it off. And so yeah, and so I replaced it with, in case you can't tell already, I replaced it with an Adventures Theo face, which is the perfect fit, just the right size. So yeah, I replaced it with a Theo face. Like I said, it's just about the right size, and so yeah, that's Shane right there. Okay, so let's get started on the next 2 mountain engines, which are going to be numbers 2 and 3. So this one is Ernest, and this one is Wilfred. So let's start with Ernest here. So Ernest and Wilfred are made from 2015 Culdee models that were released for the 70th anniversary. And these were the first models I took the faces off of to make preparations for new faces to put on. And back then I didn't have my Dremel tool, so it was just really hard to try to get the faces off. I managed to get them off eventually after a lot of struggling with a knife and stuff. And so basically I decided to put these faces on those, because the back of the area where the faces kind of like get placed into the models, it wasn't like completely flat or something. I might not be wording this in a way that makes sense, because if I don't want to take the faces off, you're not going to exactly know what I mean. But anyways, I just decided to put these faces on here. So Ernest's face is made from 2000 and I would say it's a 2002 Edward face. At least the first new style after the old style Edward. So yeah, there's that face. And then on these models, they have the numbers on the back of their caps here above their second face. So I had to make extra ones to put on here. So Ernest is the number 2. And so I had to like use some glue to put them on there back, the faces on there back then. And I also had to try to touch up the paint a bit. You might be able to kind of see the difference like on the paint right here than on here. It's not exactly the right shade of color, but you know what, I don't really care. So that's Ernest, and now Wilfred's face is an CGI Oliver's face. I had like an extra Oliver. Like, I got this Oliver from a flea market. It was an Oliver's Fossil Freight 2-pack. And the box was a bit beat up. Like, it almost looked like it had been, like, I wouldn't say run over, but the Oliver model was actually a bit damaged. Because one of the wheels was a bit crooked. And so I took the face off of that Oliver and stuck it on this one. You can kind of see a bit better the different shade of purple right there than on the sides here. So that's Wilfred. So yeah, that's Ernest and Wilfred. So now on to the last two, which will be Alaric and Eric. And so now on to Alaric and Eric. So Alaric and Eric, when I had the Culdee models for these two, I was able to cut them off with my Dremel tool, cut off the Culdee faces. I had my Dremel tool when that happened, so I was able to take off the faces. And so I used the faces from the CGI Bill and Ben, but the faces from those are a bit smaller than like Edward and Oliver's faces. So yeah, it's not exactly, it wasn't exactly like the greatest choice, but I think I felt I wanted to use Bill and Ben's faces for Alaric and Eric. So Alaric has Bill's face. So yeah, and so this tape really doesn't like do the greatest job of holding them on. Like the tape kind of starts to come off and all that. So yeah, it's really not the best way to keep these numbers and nameplates on. So Alaric is number 7, and I believe he and Eric were mentioned at least in one of the Railway series stories. Maybe. So Alaric has CGI Bill's face, and so as you can guess, Eric has CGI Ben's face. And yes, I kind of mentioned my old channel's name right there. But yeah, 2013 Ben face. So yeah, and so yeah, the only other two mountain engines I don't have other than Culdee are Lord Harry, aka Patrick, and God Dread. So I've been wanting to try to make Patrick for a while. Like my plan for Patrick is to use a 2005 Culdee model, like from the Apple Orchard cars, but I wanted to do that for quite some time, but I never got around to getting one, and I still haven't to this day, but I hope I can maybe do it. And then God Dread, I really don't know if I'm gonna do that, because he was only like seen in one book, one story, and then he's pretty much just long gone, even though Culdee actually made the story up where he fell down the mountain and his parts were used to mend the other engines. Yeah, but I don't know if I really want to make a God Dread model. I'm really just going to focus on Patrick whenever I can. And so yeah. So that's the custom model segment on these 5 mountain engines here. Ernest, Wilfred, Shane, Alaric, and Eric. So I hope you enjoyed this little custom model segment, and I'll see you guys on the next video.